As the people of this world start to age well into their 80s, healthy aging has become the focus in the world medical community. And with that, the fight against the top causes of death like cancer and other diseases that challenge the ability to age healthily are the front lines. We interview Dr. Kenneth Naoyuki Matsumura, a San Francisco East Bay Japanese-American family physician and researcher, bucking medical challenges starting as a Berkeley High School student. Born in Thailand to a Japanese national father and Nisei mother at the end of World War II, Dr. Matsumura's family was able to come back to war-torn Japan, where the mother eventually felt that she wanted to repatriate themselves as American citizens and return to the U.S. for a better life.
Well, I spent 10 years of my early life in Japan as a regular Japanese student, but I came to the United States in order to maintain our American citizenship. My mother is an American, Japanese-American Nisei from Alameda, born in Oakland. And so we came here to establish our citizenship, but we liked it so much, we ended up staying here.
Coming to the U.S. at the age of 10, Dr. Matsumura found in high school the path that led him to medical research.
While I was already in high school, I was starting to be very interested in medical research. I had this notion that I was going to be a Thomas Edison in medicine, I said, well, he was all in electricity, and I said, there's nothing more to do in electricity. Well, how wrong I was in that.
Interestingly, Dr. Matsumura, instead of following a pure research career, he dedicated himself to public health for 45 years.
When I graduated from UCSF in 1970, I wanted to do some, I wasn't heavily in research. Of course, I spent most of my time doing that, but I wanted to do some additional work in actual clinical medicine, treating patients. And there's this poverty-stricken community in West Oakland. And they had just started a few years before a community health center, because at that time, if you were poor and you got sick, you went to the county hospital, you took a number at 7 a.m, and then if they didn't see you by 4, they tell you to go home and come back again.
Over the years, Dr. Matsumura's research led him to many what he calls accidental discoveries. Some he still wants to bring to light, and some he is prioritizing today.
But I ended up accidentally developing the artificial liver, bio-artificial liver, which at that time they said you can't make an artificial liver because it's an organ that we don't even understand what it's doing yet, and so how can you make an artificial liver? Well, I decided to combine some live liver cells inside a dialysis type apparatus. That's an artificial kidney. So you dialyze a diseased blood against a suspension of liver cells. But anyway, the same concept applies to bio-artificial pancreas, whereby you have diabetic patients getting better with pancreatic islet cells inside a device. And my device got selected to be on the space shuttle. Unfortunately, the Challenger happened, but that unfortunately ended that idea.
One of his tireless focuses in the last 20 years has been developing a side effect-free treatment for cancer.
Well, the problem with cancer, of course, is that the treatment is worse than the disease. Almost everybody knows that. And so because the current chemotherapy, well, it goes into the body and it kills anything dividing in the body. But by 1980s, I came to the conclusion that because even in a tumor, there's so many different kinds of cancer cells, if you aim it against one kind and you miss the others, that approach wasn't going to work. And then one day, just out of the blue, I wasn't thinking of another approach. It occurred to me that poisons have antidotes. Instead of aiming the cancer drug against cancer cells, why don't we aim the antidote to the normal dividing cells which are affected by the cancer drugs? Then when the cancer drugs actually go into the normal dividing cells, they're not affected because the antidote is there protecting those cells. So then if you don't protect the cancer cells, they will die, just like they should die. And so SEF, SAFE, stands for side effect free. I ended up creating a side effect free chemotherapy approach.
Foreshadowed by his discoveries, there lies a social justice aspect to his work that he holds dearly, and it's at the core of his medical work.
Yeah, actually in 1963, I went into Berkeley as a Republican. Can you believe it? My family had been relatively wealthy in Japan, but after Berkeley, we had this free speech movement, and I saw how wrong it was, how students and people with less power had no say in anything. And I became more and more liberal. And by 1964, I felt like, hey, I'm coming up with all kinds of these medical inventions. I may indeed be a Thomas Edison in medicine, but I said to myself, if I make any money, I'm going to spend most of the money trying to equalize the rich and the poor. And that's still exactly my philosophy today. My therapy has potential for a lot of money, but it's not for me. It's really hopefully to right the wrong.
We wish Dr. Matsumura a continued journey towards being the Thomas Edison of medicine. This is Greg Viloria for Derek Tahara for the Nichi Cafe.